Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dolton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
A Dolton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now
the drama in Dolton, Illinois just keeps getting juicier. And at the center of it all is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, a figure some are calling the super mayor. But is she truly a political powerhouse? Or is she just stirring up controversy wherever she goes? Let's dive into the latest scandal, which has all the makings of a political thriller. Shady characters, questionable decisions, and enough legal battles to make your head spin. Henyard's latest move? Appointing a new police chief, which on the surface seems like a routine task for any mayor. But this is Tiffany Henyard, and nothing is ever that simple. She handpicked Ronald B. Sarr for the job, despite a mountain of red flags, setting off an uproar in the town. Why? Because Sarr isn't legally qualified to be a cop, let alone the town's top cop. As of now, Sarr is listed as inactivated by the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, meaning he can't carry a firearm, issue citations, or perform any of the duties expected of a police officer. But did that stop Henyard? Of course not. She appointed him anyway, sparking yet another legal battle with the town's trustees. With this latest scandal, questions are swirling. Is Henyard in over her head, or is she just playing a high-stakes game? Either way, the political drama in Dolton is far from over.
Only community that in order to get a business license or a liquor license.
This situation with Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't come out of nowhere. Since she took office in Dolton, Illinois in 2021, Henyard has been at the center of one controversy after another. From the start, she's been made headlines for all the wrong reasons, with her first major scandal being her excessive spending. We're talking tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on luxury travel, expensive dinners, and even a Valentine's Day party featuring an igloo, R&B music, and a whole lot of selfies. And of course, the bill was picked up by the residents of Dolton. But it's not just her spending habits that have raised eyebrows. Henyard also has a tendency to surround herself with questionable characters, something that brings us to her latest move. When she appointed Ronald Burge as police chief, people quickly pointed out a major issue. His law enforcement certification had lapsed. Burge hasn't completed the required requalification shoot since 2022, meaning he's legally prohibited from carrying a firearm or performing any of the duties expected of a police officer. For someone who's supposed to lead the department, that's a huge problem, right? But here's where it gets even more bizarre. Despite Burge's inactive status and a strong letter from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board advising Henyard to remove him from the role, she has pressed forward with the appointment. The letter made it clear, Burge can't serve in any law enforcement capacity until the proper paperwork is submitted and he requalifies. But Henyard, known for not always following the rules, isn't backing down. In fact, this isn't the first time she's defied the town's trustees. When she made the appointment, the majority of the board was opposed, pointing out that, according to village ordinances, she needed their approval before filling such a critical position. But Henyard went ahead anyway, sparking yet another legal battle that's now unfolding in court. And to add even more fuel to the fire, she's teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her political opponents being arrested and charged. Stay tuned, because the drama in Dolton shows no signs of slowing down.
Teasing a big announcement that she claims will result in some of her opponents being arrested and charged.
Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dolton, Illinois, has been one controversy after another, and the latest involves her decision to appoint Ronald Burge as police chief. But this situation isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a disturbing pattern. Henyard has repeatedly appointed individuals with questionable backgrounds or who aren't fully qualified for the roles they've been given. One online commenter summed it up perfectly, saying she hires and recruits people like a mob boss. It's hard to argue with that assessment, given her tendency to surround herself with those who won't challenge her authority. Take, for example, former police chief Les Lacey, another of Henyard's appointments. Like Burge, Lacey had an inactive status with the state, meaning he wasn't legally authorized to serve as a police officer. As one commenter pointed out, if the state of Illinois has listed an individual as inactive, they cannot be an officer. Lacey's inactivity status isn't a one-time mistake. It's part of a clear and troubling pattern of Henyard appointing people who are either unqualified or legally prohibited from performing their duties. This raises serious concerns about her leadership style and judgment. Despite the ongoing legal battles, public outrage, and growing scandal, Henyard is holding on to her position with surprising resilience. In fact, she's gearing up for re-election. Recently, Henyard announced she would run for another term as mayor, making the announcement in her signature bold, attention-grabbing fashion via social media. While this may seem like an unconventional move, it reflects her approach to politics, unapologetic and focused on maintaining power. Here's the thing. Despite the scandals, Henyard won her first term in a landslide, securing over 80% of the vote. This indicates that she still has a solid base of support among Dolton residents, or at least did back in 2021. Whether that support will hold up in the face of the mounting controversies is still unclear, but Henyard has made it clear she's not backing down. No matter how many legal challenges she faces, or how many people call for her resignation, the legal drama surrounding her appointment of Burge is far from over. After Henyard pushed through the appointment, the town's trustees immediately filed a restraining order, arguing that Burge should not be allowed to serve as police chief without their approval. Initially, a judge sided with the trustees, ruling that Burge could not serve in the role without going through the proper channels. However, after a particularly chaotic village board meeting, the judge reversed his decision, allowing Burge to serve as interim police chief for 30 days while the village worked out a more permanent solution. But even that temporary solution hasn't settled things. The trustees are now planning to go back to court, armed with a letter from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, which strongly advised Henyard to remove Burge due to his inactive status. The trustees argue that, given Burge's inability to legally carry a firearm or perform law enforcement duties, he shouldn't even be allowed to serve in an interim capacity. And honestly, they have a point. How can someone who isn't legally qualified to carry a weapon or exercise law enforcement authority be trusted to lead an entire police department? It's a recipe for disaster, and it's hard to see how this situation will resolve without further legal fallout. As this battle drags on, it's clear that Henyard isn't going down without a fight. She's made it clear that she intends to stay in power no matter the cost. Whether her base of support will hold up as the scandals continue to pile up remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the drama in Dolton is far from over.
Landlord showed up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments for months.
The legal drama surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard extends well beyond her controversial staffing decisions and into her personal life. Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, are currently embroiled in an eviction case for their rented home in Dolton. Their landlord, Janetta Hull, who once considered Henyard a friend, now claims the couple owes thousands in unpaid rent dating back to August. Hull alleges that her attempts to resolve the issue have been met with evasive tactics, and despite multiple attempts to serve eviction papers, Henyard and Woods have reportedly managed to avoid being served. The situation has escalated, with Hull claiming that Henyard and Woods changed the locks on the property, preventing her from accessing the home or performing necessary maintenance. For Hull, the betrayal is personal. She feels deeply hurt not only by the unpaid rent, but by the strain this situation has placed on their relationship. This latest chapter in Henyard's legal troubles mirrors the chaos of her public career, painting a picture of a mayor besieged by controversy on all fronts. For Dolton residents already frustrated by Henyard's leadership and questionable decisions, her personal legal battles have only added fuel to the fire. As Henyard fights to maintain her position amid mountain scandals, these personal issues raise further questions about her fitness to lead the town.
Special board meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings, so that's some progress there, but this meeting was not without its fair share.
The drama surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dolton, Illinois, has become a spectacle, with each new development adding to the perception that her leadership is spiraling out of control. Already embroiled in a series of public controversies, Henyard now faces personal legal challenges, including an eviction case for her rental property in Dolton. Along with her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, Henyard is accused of owing thousands of dollars in back rent, with landlord Janetta Hull, once a friend of the mayor, taking legal action. Hull claims the couple hasn't paid rent since August and that her attempts to serve eviction papers have been thwarted, with Henyard and Woods reportedly avoiding service. The situation has worsened further, with Hull alleging that Henyard and Woods changed the locks on the property, preventing her from accessing the home or conducting necessary maintenance. Hull expressed her frustration, stating, "As a mayor, you would think they would uphold positive citizen standards. You don't see that with these people. They just feel like they can do whatever they want." Hull's comments reflect the sentiments of many Dolton residents who believe Henyard is more focused on personal gain than on serving the community. This latest scandal, the eviction case, has only deepened the public's frustration with Henyard. It has painted a portrait of a mayor whose personal legal troubles now mirror the chaos of her public career, raising questions about her fitness to lead. Residents already grappling with Henyard's leadership have seen her priorities shift away from governance to self-indulgence. The mounting frustration among Dolton residents, already dissatisfied with her leadership, has been exacerbated by her personal legal struggles. The eviction issue is just one of many controversies tarnishing Henyard's reputation. It has recently come to light that the FBI is investigating both Dolton and Thoron Township, where Henyard also serves as township supervisor, for potential financial misconduct. Federal subpoenas were issued earlier this year, signaling a deeper probe into Henyard's handling of taxpayer dollars. Allegations of extravagant personal purchases, lavish parties, and questionable contracts have raised alarms, with critics questioning how public funds have been spent. Some of the purchases, including lavish dinners, travel, and gifts, appeared to be far too personal to justify using taxpayer dollars. The misuse of public funds is not just a moral failing. It's a betrayal of the trust placed in her by Dolton's residents. Many are calling for accountability, as the village faces growing financial challenges with a significant deficit. Henyard's leadership has been marred by accusations of mismanagement, wasteful spending, and self-serving behavior, the village facing a deficit nearing $5 a million. Many vendors are reportedly unpaid for months, leaving residents to question how their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent while the community suffers. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot even stepped in, launching an investigation into Dolton's finances. A preliminary report from earlier this year highlighted the village's alarming financial condition, showing a drastic drop in the general fund balance from over $5 billion in 2022 to a $3.65 million deficit by May 2024. Much of this deterioration has been linked to Henyard's spending habits. Despite the growing evidence, Henyard has vehemently denied any wrongdoing, claiming the allegations are part of a larger power grab and money scheme against her. In a fiery 90-minute Facebook Live rant, Henyard dismissed her critics, portraying herself as a victim of political attacks. She vowed to seek legal action against those accusing her, saying, "I will be seeking arrest for individuals involved. I will be pressing charges." Her defiance, however, has done little to calm the growing frustration and skepticism among Dolton residents, who continue to grapple with the fallout from her administration's financial decisions. Henyard's increasingly erratic behavior and inability to address Dolton's financial issues have led many to question her leadership. Reports surface that Henyard spent over $43,000 in a single day on Amazon, using Dolton's credit card, an amount that outraged residents. Further reports revealed taxpayer funds were also used for purchases at Target, Walgreens, Wayfair, and other retailers, all while the village struggles to manage its finances. These expenditures appear out of touch with the realities of a town facing financial turmoil, raising concerns that Henyard is more focused on self-indulgence than the needs of the community. Despite the mounting scandals, Henyard shows no signs of stepping down. Instead, she has doubled down on her position, often portraying herself as a victim of political sabotage. Her supporters claim she's being unfairly vilified and is the target of an orchestrated attack. Meanwhile, her critics see her as a self-serving leader who has dragged Dolton into disarray. Henyard recently announced that she plans to run for re-election, signaling her intention to remain in power despite the mounting controversy. In her trademark style, Henyard made the announcement via social media with a bold, attention-grabbing post, "I am running for re-election for mayor of Dolton." This defiant stance has led many to wonder if Henyard is more interested in preserving her image and consolidating power than addressing the town's pressing needs. The situation is further complicated by Henyard's repeated promises to spill the tea about the allegations against her. She has hinted at revealing her side of the story for months, even suggesting she might launch a podcast to address the charges. However, these plans have yet to materialize, leaving the public with only vague accusations and cryptic statements. Henyard has repeatedly painted herself as a victim of a corrupt system, claiming that she's being unfairly targeted by political opponents and critics. In her infamous Facebook Live rant, she even vowed to seek legal action against anyone involved in spreading accusations, yet has failed to provide concrete evidence to support her claims. Meanwhile, Henyard's critics are becoming more vocal, accusing her of financial mismanagement, abuse of power, and prioritizing personal gain over the welfare of Dolton's residents. Legal battles, including investigations into her spending habits and the ongoing eviction case, continue to pile up. Critics argue that Henyard's leadership has plunged Dolton into disarray, with the town's finances in shambles and essential services struggling. The village is facing a deficit nearing $5 million, and many vendors are still waiting to be paid for work completed months ago. Residents have expressed frustration with Henyard's focus on self-preservation rather than solving the pressing issues facing the community. The federal investigation into Henyard's financial activities has only added to the complexity of the situation. There are growing concerns about how taxpayer money has been spent, especially given the mounting debt and the deteriorating condition of public services in Dolton. Henyard's handling of village funds has become a central point of contention, with residents demanding transparency and accountability for every dollar spent. As Henyard continues to fight to maintain her position, the divide between her supporters and detractors grows starker. Supporters claim she is a victim of a political witch hunt, while critics view her as a corrupt leader who is out of touch with the needs of the people she was elected to serve. The situation has become increasingly polarized, with Henyard at the center of a bitter battle for control over Dolton's future. The real question that many are asking is, what's the truth? Is Henyard a misunderstood leader fighting against entrenched corruption? Or is she the one responsible for Dolton's problems? The legal challenges, unanswered questions about the town's finances, and Henyard's evasive responses have left many wondering what the future holds. Until Henyard provides the concrete evidence she has promised, her narrative of being a victim will remain difficult for many to believe. In the meantime, Dolton residents are left to grapple with the fallout of Henyard's leadership, one marked by financial mismanagement, personal legal battles, and mounting scandals. The stakes are high, and many are waiting for answers about where their taxpayer dollars have gone and whether Henyard can be trusted to lead the village out of its financial crisis. Until then, the drama surrounding her reign as mayor will continue to unfold, leaving residents and political observers alike wondering how it will all end.